Welcome, friends. In today we are going to discuss one of the most important topic in international finance or students from international business. That is a country risk analysis. As we know, today the world has been globalized, and most of the companies they have established their business in a number of geographical locations across the globe. But before setting up a business in a foreign country, the companies have to decide which in which country they have to set up their business, which is the most relevant company for establishing their manufacturing plant, services units, etc. So there are some criteria on which the company evaluate the location, the relevance of their country. So this is known as the country risk analysis. So in this topic we will try to find out what is country risk analysis and what are various types of country risk analysis and the techniques of measuring the country risk analysis, because it has a very hot topic in today's scenario. So why country risk analysis is so much important, why we are studying this topic, what is the need of studying this country risk analysis. The country risk analysis represents the adverse impact of country's environment on MNC performance. Means before setting up a business, every company examine about the business environment that a country give to the foreign companies. What type of subsidies, what type of tax rate, and other facilities that a company offers to the foreign companies. So if the business environment is not good, then it will have a negative impact upon the performance of the company as well as its profitability of the company. So the company will not perform well. So there will be no use of setting up business in a foreign country. So what are other factors? The effect on cash flow of MNCs. If the business environment is not good, there are lots of rules and regulations like high tax rate, corporate tax is high, then it will affect the cash flow of the multinational companies. Effect on investment decision of multinational companies. A bad business environment also affect the investment decisions of multinational companies. Sometimes they have to make the investment in which the profit is not so high. Restrict FDI and FIIs. Domestic companies go abroad. If the business environment is not good, even the domestic or home companies they can set up their business in other countries. So the country risk analysis is very much important in today's scenario, because we are living in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous world, and everything changes very frequently. So it is very much important for the multinational companies to examine the various risk factors before setting up their business in a foreign country. Generally, there are two type of country risk. One is political risk and economic risk. So what are those type of risk? We will now study about those. What are the political risk? The number one is the political instability. Sometimes host countries don't have political stability. Means the government does not complete this full tenure. The political parties they change very frequently. The governing parties of a country they change very frequently. And if the government change very frequently, then the party that will come into a power he will establish his own rules and regulations. So the rules and regulations of country for a business will changes very frequently, and it these rules are not sustainable for a longer period of time. This leads to the problem for multinational companies. Second is war and terrorism. Many times what happens, the countries don't have cordial relationship with the neighboring countries, and they always on the brink of a war. And if the terrorism is also up to a great extent, then for the multinational companies it become a challenge to provide a safety to their staff, employees, and to their assets also. So that is the presence of war and terrorism in a country also not a good sign for a multinational company. they will avoid to set up their business in a terrorism hit country. Next is blockage of fund transfer. Many foreign subsidiaries send their profit to the parent company in their home country. Suppose an Indian company has established its subsidiary in America, then at the end of the year, the US subsidiary will send its revenue profit to the Indian company after completing a financial year. Sometimes the host country, in this case the US is a host country, it put restriction to send the profit to the home country. They put restriction on the subsidiary that they can't send their profit to the India, that where their parent company is situated. In such circumstances, subsidiaries have to invest their profit in less profitable ventures. So under such circumstances, what happen? The subsidiaries have to invest their profit in those projects where the profit is very less. Actions of host government. Sometimes host government impose extra corporate taxes, employs reservation for host country, and strict operational standards have weak business legal system that affect the functionality of a subsidiary firm. So sometimes the legal business, the law, the corporate taxes that are not in favor of the foreign company to set up their business. Currency inconvertibility. Some governments don't allow their home currency to be exchanged into other currencies. Then revenue generated by foreign subsidiaries can't be remitted to parent companies. Under some conditions, parent companies have to exchange the currency for good to extract benefit from operations of their subsidiaries in foreign countries. Sometimes the government does not allow to convert their currency into other currency. So that becomes a big problem for the foreign multinational companies who are going to establish their business in other countries. Next one is the corruption. That is one of the major issue for the multinational companies. If they are going to set up their business in a country where the corruption is up to a significant level, then they have to pay a handsome amount of money for doing their um, work, like for taking some registration. Their cost of operating will become quite high. So these factors will reduce the profitability of company. Even if there is no strict laws, like the patent law is not strictly followed by the local companies, then they can, what they can do, they can easily copy the product of the foreign companies. This becomes again a big problem for the countries. Then come to the economic risk. The first one is the interest rate risk. These the economic risks are those risks that affect the financial and economic condition of a country, and if those risks are up to quite high, it means the economy of the country is not strong. They face a weak economy, and the multinational companies, they will hesitate to set up their business. So first is interest rate risk. If the interest rate will be high, then what will happen? The companies and the people, they will not borrow a large amount of money for investment or for their expenditure from the banks. Thus the investment will be low. So people will not have enough money to spend on costly products and other products. So in such conditions, what will happen? The foreign company will avoid to set up their business in those countries where the interest rate risk is available. Exchange rate risk. This is the second component of economic risk. In exchange rate risk, when it is exchange rate is quite high, then the export become expensive. It increases the sale of imported products. The demand of companies product in foreign become less as they become less competent. It reduces the production level in the country. That is going to happen in parent company as well as in foreign subsidiaries. The third one is the inflation rate risk. So what is rate risk? If the inflation will high, then it will reduce the purchasing power of the customers, and if the purchasing power of customers is not high, then they will not spend on a number of luxurious products or a costly product, then the demand of the companies who are working as a subsidiaries of foreign companies will be less, because when the purchasing power is less, then definitely the customers will give preference to their local product because they will be cheap. So thus inflation rate risk plays a big role in country risk analysis. So if we consider what are the overall key indicators of a country risk, then we can say the large government deficit related to GDP, high government expenditure when their rate of return is quite low, tax rate are quite high, absence of strong legal system, weak banking and financial market regulations, corruption is high, rigid labor laws, price control. So these are the main key indicators from which a company can judge that the country risk is quite high and they should avoid to establish their business under such country. So how we will assess or measure the country risk? There are some techniques. One is Delphi technique, inspection visit, checklist approach and quantitative analysis. Now we will discuss one by one of these techniques how we can measure the country risk. The first one is Delphi technique. What happens in Delphi technique? The company takes the independent opinion from the individuals. The company surveys specific employees or the outside consultants who have a expertise or quite good knowledge about the countries and their various risk factors that are pertaining in a particular country. MNCs receive response from the surveys and determine some consensus opinion about country's risk. After getting the response to a survey, they can make a final decision on the basis of the responses of the employees and the consultants whether they should go to establish their business in a particular country or not. The second one is the inspection visit. In inspection visit, the multinational companies send their representative to the target foreign country. What is a target foreign country? The country in which the multinational company is wants to establish their business. Their representative meet with government bodies, government officials, business executives and the target customers. So after conducting a meeting with these government officials, big business houses and target consumers, they can easily find out what are the various problems that exist in a business environment of a country. So they can easily get an idea about how much the country risk is there and they should set up their business or not in particular country. The third one is a checklist. In checklist approach, what we do, company make a list of various political or financial risk factor or economic risk factors. They make a list of both the risk factors and then they arrange the risk factor according to their importance in a particular industry, because in every industry the risk factor may be different. So they give all the risk factor rating. Ratings are assigned to risk factors according to their overall impact on respective industry and the particular business scenario. The final decisions are made after shortlisting the most important factor for both political and financial factor that can affect the business of company. So once they give rating to all the risk factors, then we will finalize which risk factor are the more important or have the negative impact on their business of their company. So this is checklist approach. And the last one is the quantitative analysis. In quantitative analysis, we apply some statistical techniques like regression analysis. Under regression analysis, what we can do, we can make analysis the various risk factors and assess their sensitivity over one another as well as over the company's business. We take a list of risk factors, then after taking a risk factor we can analyze through the regression analysis what is the sensitivity with one another, how one variable affect the another variable and the dependent variable. The company can also regress the impact of country risk factor or country characteristics on its business operations over a specific time period. So we can also find the effect of various variables on the business of a company over a period of time, like what will happen after 3 or 4 years, how much it will impact after 2 3 years. So all these things we can do regression analysis, we can do it like a forecasting analysis. So this is a part of the quantitative analysis. Thank you. So this is all about the country risk analysis, and it is very much important for the students of PG classes who are studying the international finance and international business courses. And through this course we have discuss about what is the country risk, why it is so much important, and what are various type of risk and how we can measure the risk. I think students, they will definitely able to resolve the various issues related to the country risk analysis in the exams. Thank you.